Hello guys, if you don't know me, my name is Ryan and I write under the pen name Austin Moon, and today I'm going to be telling you all about my new debut novel and revealing the title, so let's get into that. Okay, so the official title of the book is 100 Miles Until I Love You. The main character's name is Cal, short for Calden, and it is a single POV romance story. Just a short overview, it's a contemporary romance and it's sort of a road trip story. It's a cycling story, and so I'm just going to read my blurb real fast because I'm not really great at how to describe this book. So this is just the temporary blurb. It might not be the final, but here's the blurb as it is right now. Okay, so here's the blurb. What's harder than cycling hundreds of miles down the west coast? Doing it with the annoyingly hot guy who hates your guts. Cal is excited to go on a 2-week cycling trip with his best friends. He doesn't want, he needs the relaxation in order to kill his artist's block. He has a new show coming up and he's nowhere near finished. However, things get complicated when one of his best friends, Alex, brings her standoffish brother Nate along for the ride without telling him, which would be fine if the guy wasn't a total jerk. Sharing a tent with this guy every night should prove to be impossible, so when he and Nate actually start to get along, he's surprised. But Cal isn't looking for love. He's already been burned one too many times. And so what if the guy has a couple good qualities? It doesn't mean anything, right? Nate is a fancy coder and an obsessive cyclist with all the latest gear. He's too black and white, too rigid, too perfect. The total opposite of Cal, who's had more jobs than he can count. He's a mess. No way could they ever work out. Not to mention keeping a secret that huge from his two best friends might just be more than he can take. Only 856 more miles to go. Can Cal and Nate put their differences aside to make this thing work? Get ready for a swoony road trip story that features light enemies to lovers, only one bed, my best friend's brother, a secret romance, and a vacation fling as a few of the tropes. From the meet cute to the happily ever after, 100 Miles Until I Love You crafts a charming romance you won't want to miss. That's just the preliminary blurb. I might, still edit, so tell me down in the comments what you think of it. But yeah, that's kind of the general idea of the story. It's a road trip romance, so they're going on this cycling trip or cycling tour, as cyclists like to call it, down the west coast from the top of Washington to San Francisco over the course of 2 weeks. And like I said in the blurb, Cal thinks he's going with his two best friends, but then he realizes that his best friend, Bodhi's girlfriend, brought her brother Nate along for the ride, which lots of fun stuff happens after that. It's very tropey. I wouldn't exactly call it a rom-com, but there is a lot of comedy involved in the story. So yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to get to read it. I have done some character art, which I will be displaying here on the screen as I go over each of my two main characters. Like I said, this story is just told from one POV. It's told from Cal's point of view. I know a lot of romance likes to do like the two point of views, which I do enjoy, and I have, which I do enjoy, and I have written books like that, but for this one it just felt necessary to have the one POV. So yeah, I'm just going to go over the characters a little bit. The main character's name is Cal, or Calden, as I've already said. He is 28, but he kind of still has the mind of a 15-year-old. He was raised by his grandparents because his dad was in prison and his mom had a lot going on. And his grandma died when he was young, so he was sort of raised by his grandpa and his mom when she got her shit together. And once he turned 18 and he graduated high school, he left the nest and started out on his own. And so he's kind of done every job you can think of. He's worked in retail, he's worked in a lot of kitchens as waiters and, dishwashers and that kind of thing. And that's how he met his best friend Bodhi. They were both working at a restaurant where he was the dishwasher or waiter, I don't know, and Bodhi was a prep chef or something like that. And then before this story happens, Bodhi ends up opening his own restaurant with his girlfriend Alex, and he's sort of the mastermind chef of the operation, and Alex is sort of the business managerial side of the operation. And their restaurant is called the Flaming Onion, and it's kind of a vegan Asian fusion restaurant, I guess. He makes like a lot of curries and that type of stuff. And Bodhi is Pacific Islander and black. So he's a big, tall, burly guy with long, luxurious hair. Think of like a Jason Momoa type kind of guy, or like The Rock sort of, but bigger and less muscular. And so yeah, that's Calden's best friend, and his girlfriend is Alex, like I've said. And Alex is blonde, she's got a bunch of tattoos, and that's something that really draws Cal and Alex together, is they both have a love of tattoos, so they often go together to get them, so they both have a lot of tattoos on them. And yeah, that's Cal. The second main character is Alex's brother Nate, and he is 30. Nate is a coder. He works in the tech world. He works at a startup in Portland that makes health apps, and he's sort of a manager on a coding team. I don't really know that much about coding or technology. I did my best to make it as realistic as I could, but I couldn't tell you the first thing about coding. But yeah, he kind of leads a team who works on a certain coding project at that startup. If you're a coder or you know anything about startups, sound off down below about like how accurate that is and like what that would actually look like, but I did my best. He's very type A, he's very closed off, he's very buttoned up, so to say. He has social anxiety, he doesn't have very many friends, and he definitely doesn't date. He kind of just sticks to himself. He's good at his job, and he hangs out with his sister sometimes. So this is kind of like a big deal that his sister invited him to go on this trip, and he actually agreed to do it, because that's like basically his only interest. Is he's great at coding and he loves cycling. He always buys the nicest bikes and the craziest gear and that type of thing. So he makes Nate's homegrown sort of setup on his bike look really amateurish in comparison. And yeah, the two butt heads pretty much right off the bat. They're very different in personality. One, you know, Cal is very laid back, and Nate, like I said, is very buttoned up in type A. So they have a lot of great banter, and I loved writing that. And there's a lot of misunderstandings that are thrown their way. I really like writing enemies to lovers, but I feel like a lot of people write enemies to lovers in a way that I don't enjoy. So that's why I like to call it a light enemies to lovers, because it's not like they hate each other. I mean, you use that like in the marketing and the branding, but I don't think anyone really just hates someone for no reason. Like, it's a misunderstanding. Some of these enemies to lovers books I think are kind of crazy, where it's like, I want to murder you and then somehow we're gonna fall in love. I just don't really find that realistic, especially in a contemporary setting. So it's more like a series of misunderstandings, and they get to know each other along the way and bridge those misunderstandings and realize that they have more in common than they ever once thought, and I really love that. So yeah, my book 100 Miles Until I Love You will be coming out May 28th. I'm hoping it will come out May 28th, that's what I'm saying right now. So if you're watching this after that, hopefully it's already out. I'm just revealing the title and the character art that I said I would here today, and then I'm going to be filming another video where I show you guys the cover, because if you didn't know, I'm actually a cover designer and an illustrator, and I already have the cover ready to go. So I hope it's not annoying that I'm going to split this into two videos, but that's what I'm going to do for the attention. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified when I upload my next video, so you can see my beautiful cover. I know people probably are really wary of like an author doing their own covers, because it's very rare that an author is also an illustrator, but I promise I'm an actual cover designer and it looks really good, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. and so I will be making that video very soon, so stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you will have some interest in my book and buy my book when it comes out. That would be awesome. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. Those were my two characters, and I gave you a brief overview of what's going to happen in the book. I don't want to give too much away. I really don't want to give any like spoilers or like plot points. Yeah, so I think that's all I'm gonna say today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.